They are men of steel, standing tall in the harshest of conditions. They disregard freezing cold temperatures and scorching heat to always remain brave, awake, and devoted towards us. They are all heroes, each and every one of them. But there are few whose stories have become legends, stories that deserve to be shared and told over and over again. Captain Vikram Batra. Born in Palampur, Himachal Pradesh, Captain Vikram Batra of 13 J&K Rifles is also known as the hero of Kargil War. He led one of the toughest war operations in Kashmir and was also called Sher Shah. He was instrumental in capturing Peak 5140, which is located at an altitude of 17,000 feet. During this mission, Batra was seriously injured but still managed to kill 3 enemy soldiers in close combat. After capturing Peak 5140, he went on yet another difficult mission to recapture Peak 4875 on July 7, 1999. Batra made a call to his father before he left and told him about the crucial mission. Hardly did he knew that this would be his last call home. It was one of the most difficult missions the Indian Army attempted because the Pakistani forces were sitting above the peak at 16,000 feet and the climb gradient was 80 degrees. On their way up, one of Batra's fellow officers was severely injured. When a Subedar tried to help him save the officer, Batra pushed him aside, saying, "You have children, step aside." He saved his fellow soldier but was killed while clearing enemy positions. Batra's last word were Jai Mata Di. A famous quote by Batra is, "Either I will come back after hoisting the tricolour, or I will come back wrapped in it, but I'll be back for sure." He was honoured with Param Veer Chakra. Major General Ian Cardozo. Major General Ian Cardozo, who has many achievements to his name, will always be known for his immense courage in 1971 war with Pakistan. He was at the time a young major with 5 Gurkha rifles. During the war, he stepped on a landmine and severely injured his leg. When even the doctor could not cut his leg, Cardozo asked for a kurki and cut his own leg off, saying, "Now go and parade." The incident did not deter Cardozo from going on to serve his country. Through sheer willpower and determination, he continued to perform his duties as a soldier and became the first disabled officer in the Indian Army to command an infantry battalion and a brigade. In spite of not being physically at par with other officers, he defeated many two-legged soldiers to come first in many fitness tests during his stint in the army. Subedar Yogendra Singh Yadav. This brave soldier has the high honor of being the youngest recipient of Param Veer Chakra. He received this award at the age of 19 for his actions on July 4, 1999 during the Kargil War. Yadav showed immense courage during the war in 1999. He volunteered for the task of capturing 3 strategic bunkers on Tiger Hill, which were situated at the top of vertical, snow-covered 16,500 feet high cliff face. He was climbing the high cliff with the help of a rope when the enemy bunkers started rocket fire. Yadav was hit by 3 bullets in his groin and shoulder. Despite being severely injured, Yadav kept climbing and finished the remaining 60 feet to reach top of the cliff. Though in immense pain, Yadav crawled to the first enemy bunker and lobbed a grenade, which killed 4 Pakistani soldiers and set back the enemy fire. This gave the rest of the Indian platoon the opportunity to climb up the cliff face. However, this was not it. Yadav continued to fight and destroyed the second bunker too with the help of 2 fellow soldiers. In fact, he also engaged in hand-to-hand combat with the enemy and killed 4 more Pakistani soldiers. By the time the rest of the Indian platoon arrived, Yadav had already neutralized the enemy attacks. This gave Indian soldiers the upper hand and they managed to accomplish one of the toughest missions of Kargil War, the capture of Tiger Hill. During the second part of the fight, a few more bullets hit Yadav. Some say he was hit by 16 bullets, some say less, but he survived it all. Rifleman Jaswant Singh Rawat. Words fall short when it comes to telling this brave man's story. A hero of 1962 Indo-China War, Rifleman Jaswant Singh Rawat of the 4th Garhwal Rifles Infantry Regiment is the only soldier in the history of the Indian Army who has risen through the ranks after his death. He was promoted to the rank of Major General 40 years after his death and still is believed to command troops guarding India's eastern frontiers with China. During the 1962 war, soldiers were ordered to vacate their posts as soon as possible due to heavy casualties against Chinese at the Battle of Neuranang. But Jaswant did not leave his position and continued to fight even after other soldiers had left. Rawat was held by 2 Monpa tribal girls named Sela and Neeru. The trio set up weapons at separate points and maintained a volume of fire to make the Chinese believe they were facing a huge battalion. Rawat successfully managed to fool them for 3 days, but the Chinese found out about the setup through a man who used to supply rations to Rawat and the two girls. At this point, Rawat chose to shoot himself rather than be captured by the Chinese forces. The post that Rawat held to repulse the Chinese troops has been renamed Jaswantgarh in recognition of his courage. A small shrine to Rawat has also come up at the battle spot. All army personnel who pass by this route make sure to pay their respect to him here. Rifleman Jaswant Singh Rawat was awarded Mahavir Chakra. Second Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal. Born in Pune, 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal of 17 Pune Horse Regiment is yet another braveheart who died too young at the age of 21. He died in the Battle of Basantar during the Indo-Pakistan War of 1971, where his brave actions earned him the Paramveer Chakra posthumously. Khetrapal showed immense courage and strong will when Pakistani armour, which was superior in strength, counter-attacked at Jarpal in the Shakargarh sector in December 1971. Though Khetrapal was in different squadron, he rushed to help, moving towards the enemy, overrunning the defences with his tanks and capturing Pakistani infantry and weapons. When the commander of his troops was killed, Khetrapal continued to attack the enemy fiercely until the latter's tanks started pulling back. Khetrapal even managed to destroy one of the withdrawing tanks, but the enemy reformed their armour and prepared for a second attack. This time they targeted the sector held by Khetrapal. The attack was severe and swift. Khetrapal was wounded but managed to hit 10 enemy tanks. He was asked to abandon his tank, but he realized if he left it, the enemy would break through. He fought courageously and destroyed another enemy tank, but then his own tank received another hit, which resulted in death of this courageous officer. Major Somnath Sharma. This brave soldier of 4th Kumaon Regiment sacrificed his life at the young age of 24. With his hand already in plaster from an injury sustained in a hockey game, Sharma insisted on being with his company in combat when they were airlifted to Srinagar on October 13, 1947 to fight against Pakistani invaders. On November 3, when Sharma's company was on a patrol of Badgam village, it was approached by the tribal Lashkar of 700 raiders from the direction of Gulmarg. The company was soon surrounded from 3 sides and endured heavy casualties from ensuring heavy mortar bombardment. Realizing that Srinagar and the airport would be vulnerable if abandoned the battle at this point, Sharma ran from post to post, encouraging his men to fight in the face of enemy that outnumbered them 7-1. When heavy casualties adversely affected their firing power, Sharma, with his left hand in plaster, took to filling the magazines for the men operating light machine guns. While he was busy fighting, a mortar shell exploded on the ammunition near him, killing him instantly. Major Somnath Sharma was the first recipient of Paramveer Chakra. The citation on the award says his leadership, gallantry and tenacious defense was such that his men were inspired to fight the enemy 7-1, 6 hours after his gallant officer had been killed. Captain Manoj Kumar Pandey. Why do you want to join the army? I want to win the Paramveer Chakra. That's what was asked to Captain Manoj Kumar Pandey in his SSB interview, and he remained true to his word. Part of 1/11 Gorkha Rifles on June 11, 1999 during the Kargil War, he led his men to capture the Jubar Top. Besides a narrow, treacherous ridge towards the backstabbing enemy, now in bunkers of the Indian land, Pakistanis fired on Captain Pandey's men, demonstrating great daring. He gushed ahead of his troops and hailed the enemy with bullets and a loud battle cry. Wounded by bullets on leg and shoulder, he killed 2 men in the first bunker in hand combat and urged his men to clear all bunkers and collapse in the final bunker. On July 3rd, as a part of Operation Vijay, advancing to Khalubar, he was asked to clear off the enemy positions amidst heavy shooting. Audaciously striking the first enemy position, he killed 2 enemies and destroyed the second position by killing 2 more. While clearing third, bullets thrashed his shoulders and legs. Undaunted, he continued to lead the assault on the fourth, which he destroyed with a grenade, and then a shot penetrated his forehead. "Na chhodnu, don't spare them," were his last word. This daredevil act and motivation led to capture of Khalubar. Major Kuldeep Singh Chandpuri. 120 km from Ramgarh in the Thar Desert lies Longewala. At the post, 120 Indian soldiers were stationed with the jeep mounted with M40 recoilless rifle. On December 4, 1971, Lieutenant Dharamveer Bhan, who was patrolling the international border, reported Pakistani advancement with a large number of armoured vehicles. The company commander, Major Kuldeep Singh Chandpuri, got in touch with the battalion headquarters requesting reinforcement, armour and weaponry support, as they had only medium machine guns. Battalion headquarters asked him to either hold back Pakistanis as supply couldn't reach quickly or retreat back to Ramgarh. Major Kuldeep Singh Chandpuri, along with his company, chose to stay, despite fearing being severely outnumbered by the enemy forces. Around 30 minutes past midnight, 45 tanks and 2,000 men of Pakistani took on 120 Indians. The battle continued all night, with Indians successfully guarding their homeland against a massive force. By the time battle ended on December 7th, a small number of 120 soldiers, with the help of 5 airplanes which were unable to navigate during the night, destroyed 500 Pakistani vehicles, killed 200 soldiers, and Pakistanis either lost or abandoned over 34 tanks, one of the highest ever tank losses after World War II. Only 2 Indians lost their lives: Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. On 7 June 1969, Manekshaw became the 8th Chief of the Army Staff when he succeeded General P.P. Kumar Mangalam. As Chief of the Army Staff, he received yeoman service to the nation by forging Indian Army into an efficient instrument of war. His years of military experience were soon put to the test as India decided to help Mukti Bahini rebels against West Pakistani forces. Towards the end of April 1971, Indira Gandhi, who was Prime Minister of India at the time, asked Manekshaw if he was ready to go war with Pakistan. Manekshaw refused, saying that his single armored division and 2 infantry divisions were deployed elsewhere, that only 13 of his 189 tanks were fit to fight, and they would be competing for rail carriage with the grain harvest at the point of time. He also pointed out that Himalayas passes would soon open up with the forthcoming monsoon in East Pakistan, which would result in heavy flooding. When Indira Gandhi asked the cabinet to leave the room and the chief to stay, he offered to resign. She declined to accept it, but sought his advice. He then said he could guarantee victory if she would allow him to prepare for the conflict on his terms and set a date for it. These terms and conditions were accepted by the Prime Minister. When the Indian Army finally went to war in December that year under Manekshaw leadership, it proved victorious against Pakistani army. The war, lasting under a fortnight, saw more than 90,000 Pakistani soldiers' personnel taken as prisoners of war, and it ended with the unconditional surrender of Pakistan's eastern half, resulting in the birth of Bangladesh as a new nation. When the Prime Minister asked him to go to Dhaka and accept the surrender of Pakistani forces, Manekshaw declined, magnanimously saying that the honor should go to his army commander in the east, Lieutenant General Jagjit Singh Arora. We fall short of words describing the bravery of these Indian Army officers who fought for their country till their last breath. This is a tribute to all the Army officers standing there to protect us. We salute them. Jai Hind.